All right. Looks like we're live here. Bryce Gelman here. Today, going to be talking about something that I haven't really discussed in a while, which is the Jets. I kind of haven't had a reason to, but today, the past few days, I mean, there's certainly no lack of interesting topics to discuss with the Jets. I mean, it's just like it never ends with this team. We're also going to be talking about the Knicks and the latest on Isaiah Hartenstein and OG Anunoby. There was a big report that came out yesterday from Stefan Bondi of the New York Post about Isaiah Hartenstein and the likelihood that he goes to the Thunder, who apparently are preparing this massive offer to him. It's short term, but it is a massive offer and way more than the Knicks can give him. So we'll get into that. But I wanted to start here with the Rodgers stuff, which, if you missed it, the other day it was reported they're mandatory OTAs going on right now with the Jets, their facility, and every other team in the NFL, but specifically the Jets and their facility at Florham Park, New Jersey, that Rodgers has missed the past couple days, will miss, I guess, a day or two more of these mandatory OTAs because of a prior engagement, something that he booked months ago during his rehab, but something that he felt near and dear to his heart, that he could not miss, that he could not miss, that he had to miss mandatory OTAs, and that's where he's at right now. And of course, it comes out now instead of when he booked it. So now it's a problem, and now the Jets are doing what they normally do, the backpedaling, the damage control, the Robert Saleh in front of the media, acting like a doofus. This is just another example here of the Jets not being able to get things under control. It's the PR, it's the constant PR cycle of a bad report comes out. The Jets feel the need to squash it, to release some information through a reporter they trust, who they leak stuff from. And that reporter has to come out and technically do the damage control for them before they go out and actually address the situation itself. And to Robert Saleh's credit, to the Jets' credit, they did come out and they did as much as they could in squashing this and saying that, oh, but Rodgers had booked it months ago and it's not a big deal and we're okay. Like, okay, understood. I get it. And let me just come out right away and say that it will not have any impact on the Jets winning a single game, of course, this year. And there's no doubt in my mind, and there's no doubt in your mind as well, is that Aaron Rodgers missing a couple of days in mandatory OTAs is not going to impact how well he plays later on in the season. Understood. Okay. So this is the issue that I have with Jets fans. This is why I titled this The Hypocrisy of Jets Fans, is that, and I don't mean to make this a Giants versus Jets thing, but Jets fans love at any point to give Giants fans shit about anything at any point. And when all the stuff happened with Wink Martindale and Brian Dable and Joe Shane, there was this firestorm from Jets fans who were feeling all high and mighty, saying, look at the Giants. They're dysfunction, the worst team in the NFL, blah, 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 blah. I get it. Okay, understood. Fairly calling us out for some BS that didn't look good, right? Why now all of a sudden are Jets fans turning a blind eye to what is going on here? To just yet another negative story and a negative blemish on what the Jets are doing and trying to accomplish. And this isn't even the only thing going on right now. The Hassan Reddick situation, which is actually an issue because the Jets traded for this guy, and then he decides he wants a new contract, and they supposedly didn't know this. So it just, I feel like this is this never-ending cycle for the Jets. But with this one situation, for Jets fans to essentially be Aaron Rodgers' own PR firm, to be coming out on Twitter and saying, this is not a big deal, I don't care, it's okay. If the same situation, if let's say Aaron Rodgers was on the Giants and the same situation was happening, Jets fans are all over the Giants. They're all over their fans. They're all over the organization saying, look at these idiots. They can't get anything under control. That's my issue here. It's the fact that Jets fans are turning a blind eye to what is going on with the organization. That is, they are incompetent. Do you really think this organization... Yes, I understand they made some great moves in the offseason. They bolstered the offensive line. They kept some key pieces on the defense. And they, again, I think had a really solid draft. So now, why is this the focus of our attention? Because the Jets can't get out of their own way. And let me just say this, and I discussed it a bunch before here, to my friends, to anyone who wants to listen. I want the Jets to win. I think the Jets winning Super Bowl would be awesome for the city of New York. I'm not some salty Giants fan who wishes hell on the Jets fans and the organization. No, I've never subscribed to that belief. I feel Jets fans' pain as a Knicks fan. And I know the Knicks have had some recent success. The Jets haven't made the playoffs since 2010. I don't think I can relate, but I mean, on some level I can. As New York fans, as fans of the, because a lot of Jets fans are Jets and Mets fans, I feel for you. I want your teams to win because I'm a New York sports fan, and New York sports teams winning is good for the city of New York, and I like that. I live in New York City. I like happiness. I like good vibes, right? So let me just say that. There isn't a personal vendetta that I have against Jets fans. I'm just calling it or telling it like it is. I'm calling it like I see it. And Jets fans, the sooner you realize that this is not okay and that this might not amount into what you expect it to be with the 40-year-old quarterback coming off a torn Achilles, the sooner you'll realize and the sooner you'll be objective about your own team and your analysis of your own team. Because I think as of right now, there are a lot of Jets fans out there who are trying to put this flame out. And I just don't think it's going out anytime soon. And again, as I said, do I think that this will have any impact on the Jets winning in the future? No, I don't think so. The best thing for optics across every sport is winning. You win games, people aren't going to ask questions. There's a reason why Leon Rose hasn't gotten any hate for not speaking to the media since 2020. Because the Knicks are winning. The Knicks are doing the right things. There isn't a need to ask Leon Rose what his thoughts and opinions are about various dealings across the NBA with the Knicks, with Hartenstein, whatever. Because Knicks fans trust him to do the right thing, and he has done the right thing up until now. With the Jets, it's not similar whatsoever. The media is going to continue asking hard questions. The media is going to continue being on their asses. And for good reason. Because they just can't get their shit together. And I wish Jets fans would just, call it like they see it. And remove their fandom and start analyzing it objectively. Which is your organization is a shit show. 95% of the time. There's always something going on. There's always some BS. There's always some PR damage control going on. And I understand that's kind of a given when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, a guy who has interests separate from 99.99999% of the population. He's a very unique individual. No one's denying that. And he leaves. He doesn't come to mandatory OTAs. And what is going on? Where is he? I know there have been a lot of jokes made around NFL Twitter, Jets fans, whoever, that he's at RFK Jr. campaign events. I feel like we would know that because these are public events. So where in the world is Aaron Rodgers? I think that's the more important question we should be asking, as if this guy is normal whatsoever and we shouldn't be judging him for what he is probably doing right now. Because if he is doing something batshit crazy, no one's going to judge it because it's Aaron Rodgers and it's understood. But I still cannot for the life of me understand why this wasn't discussed months ago. Why wasn't this put out there that Aaron Rodgers would be missing a few days because he had a prior engagement? If you really booked it months ago, why wasn't this communicated to the media? Why wasn't this communicated to the Jets fans? The Jets fans, I think, are turning a blind eye to all this because they don't want to admit that their team is in shambles. That is just constantly having to do this damage control. And I understand. I completely get it because this is the only hope they've had in how long? How long have the Jets fans have? 2015 was the last year that they actually put together a winning record. Obama was still president. 2 presidents ago. That was the last time. So I understand that the Jets fans cling to hope. And I wish Jets fans, the Jets organization, the best. I was very upset with the Aaron Rodgers injury last year. That frustrated me. That hurt me. I'm not even a Jets fan. I was excited to have Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback in New York. The whole 9/11 ceremony that they did in Monday Night Football, him running out with the flag, that was exciting. That got me hyped. And then to see the injury happen in real time and just to see the hopes and the dreams of all Jets fans just completely dashed, that also hurt me. Again, I have a soft spot for the Jets organization and their fans. And I do get into disagreements and arguments with them, mostly about the Giants. For whatever reason, as I started this off, the Jets fans love the shit on the Giants. So I think it's fair to call them out for this, because if roles were reversed, all Jets fans would be up in Giants fans' faces about this, speaking about how bad this is for your organization. Dable is saying that they have no idea what they're talking about. Where's that where's that for your own team? I don't understand. I really don't get it. All right, let's talk about the Knicks. We've done it. We've done enough on Rodgers here. If you ever wanted to comment here on this live stream, you could just comment below my Twitter, no matter where you're watching. If you're watching on YouTube, I think it's a little easier because you can just comment down below. I think it gives you the option. So, yeah, if you would like to go ahead, get a part of the conversation. I don't understand this algorithm. I have 550 people in here last week. Now I have 8. Haven't even broke 10 the last 2. It's fine. It's okay, because we're doing some objective, hard-hitting analysis and journalism here, right? Speaking of journalism, the New York Knicks, Isaiah Hartenstein, or I guess the upcoming free agent Isaiah Hartenstein, is supposedly, and this is something we discussed last week, when it comes to the potential plucking from another team of Isaiah Hartenstein. We know Isaiah Hartenstein has the interest in the Knicks. We know that if the money is right, he's going to be a Knick. The only issue is the Knicks can only offer him $18 million a year. The max deal they can offer him is 4 years, $72 million. So now a team like the Thunder, and according to Stephen Bondy, there was real interest from the Thunder, who, as we discussed last week, are lacking size and depth with their center. Chet Holmgren as the center just does not cut it for that team. They bring no physicality. They face a big center, and they're screwed. So there is a likelihood now that the Thunder come in, they swoop in, they give Isaiah Hartenstein, I think, and this is completely speculation. I have no idea if this is going to be the case. I just think it makes sense. The Thunder currently have, I want to say $35 million in cap space. They might offer him 2 years, $50 million. It's going to be a short-term deal because they're going to have to pay a lot of those guys in that team, and they don't want to be stuck paying Isaiah Hartenstein $25 million in 2027. So I think that's realistically going to be the case, that the Thunder come in, they offer him around 2 years, $45 to $50 million, and the Knicks, the one pull towards the Knicks, other than the fact that it's familiar, the fact that he gets along well with his teammates, the fact that he's a big part of the locker room, the fact that he's so beloved by the fans, is also the fact that it's a long-term deal. It's a 4-year deal, 4 years, $72 million. You get that security. You get the 4 years. God forbid Isaiah Hartenstein goes to the Thunder. And as I said last week, as good as Isaiah Hartenstein is, specifically in a Tom Thibodeau type defense, I do not think that he is able to match up with the big centers in the league as well as you'd like him to, especially if you lack physicality in your front court, which the Thunder do. Their backcourt is one of the most physical backcourts in the league. Lou Dort, say what you want about him offensively. The job he did on Luka Doncic is the best job that we've seen anyone do probably ever. Even Jaden McDaniels tried to do a similar job. Jaden McDaniels, one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. He just has no physicality. He's lengthy, long. He's got great hands, but he's just not physical enough to stop Luka. And Lou Dort did. I know. I digress. But the Thunder lack the physicality in the front court. With Chet Holmgren at the 4, of course, it makes more sense. Of course, their outlook completely changes with Hartenstein at the 5. They become an extremely good defensive team, but you face up against some of the really good centers, specifically in the Western Conference, throws a little wrench in it, right? Like if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, do you really think that paying Isaiah Hartenstein, who I have this inherent belief with Tom Thibodeau coach players, that they play above their ceiling with Tom Thibodeau. He gets the most out of his players. And he may drain his players more than any other head coach in the league, but he gets the most out of his players. So I think that there could be a little bit of an overpay here. And they'd be setting themselves up well, though, with a 2-year contract. But the Knicks, it makes total sense to offer him the max deal that you can offer him, which is 4 years. Again, as I said, 4 years, $72 million. I think you offer that to him. But if you're the Thunder, again, on the other hand, I don't know if that's really going to work out, if that's a smart idea. If you want to spend around 75% of your cap space on Isaiah Hartenstein, be my guest. Go ahead. Or do you want to go out and get a few guys to help your depth? And they do have some depth. But maybe Kevon Looney, a guy who will not garner as much money. No way. And a guy who plays, I mean, he's a little bit shorter than Hartenstein and hasn't shown this type of defensive prowess that we've seen from Hartenstein. But again, as I said, with Isaiah Hartenstein, he got cooked by Joel. I understand it's Joel Embiid, but he is not the type of one-on-one defensive center that the Thunder need. He's a great, awesome team defender, one of the best team defenders in the league. And he has shown the ability to protect the rim well, but once you throw one of the top centers in the league at him, a guy who's got mid-range game, who plays on the outside, who also could bruise you down low, that becomes an issue. $25 million a year, I don't know about that. 20, I'd be comfortable giving Isaiah Hartenstein. He's earned $25 million. I just don't know if that would be the smartest idea for them. So that's the latest on Hartenstein. Ian Begley says that the Knicks are in a good place to retain OG and Hartenstein. It's not like the Knicks are like that far off on a potential deal. And I guess the one silver lining in this report that the Thunder have real interest in Isaiah Hartenstein is the fact that they're not going to be willing to go 4 years to Hartenstein. So it's not like this is a 4-year, $100 million deal where Hartenstein's getting $28 million more from another team. And of course, he'd be willing to leave a city and organization that he feels so close to. But in this situation, with the less years attached, of course, more money you make, I mean, that's awesome. You know, you take the money, but it's only $7 million more a year. And on the back end, you make 2 extra years. Again, as I said, Hartenstein, like, what is his ceiling past that? He plays 2 years. Is it going to be realistic that he ever has more value? I don't think so. As much as he improved this past year for the Knicks, I don't see him making that much more of a jump with the Thunder or any other team. I really don't. Again, as I said, I just think that guys have more value when they play for Tom Thibodeau because they play to the best of their abilities and then some. Back at Joakim Noah, who made that mistake, Phil Jackson. As smart as he was, he made that mistake of paying Joakim Noah the same deal that Hartenstein's going to get. That could be the other thing. Like, he sees like, oh, wait, how much did Joakim Noah make in 2016? I'm not going to take that. No, it's different. Hartenstein made $9 million a year. He's going to get a huge pay increase that he deserves. The Knicks really need him. If the Knicks want a chance to win a championship the next 3-4 years, they need to keep Hartenstein. They really do. Everything changes if they lose him. Like, your backup options are not great. And Mitchell Robinson, who has proven time and time again to be injury prone, is your number one guy again at the center position. And you were kind of looking where you could offload Mitchell Robinson along with your picks, along with Julius Randle maybe, to get that superstar, to get that type of guy that can change the outlook of the Knicks even more than it is right now. I think the best course of action, though, is you re-sign Hartenstein. Of course. I mean, of course. It's wishful thinking they get him back. You get Hartenstein, you get OG back, 2 favorable deals, and you run it back. And you see what you have. And then you reassess in January and February before the trade deadline. You see what you have. Because I think after seeing what transpired in January of this year, 14-2, blowing out the defending champion Denver Nuggets by 40 points at the Garden, you got to see what you have. You got to explore the possibility of running it back with a healthy team. And that team was without Mitchell Robinson. I think we all took it for granted how well they were playing in that time. And I think the biggest likelihood behind all of this, and again, I'm speculating, I'm spitballing, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I am no Knicks insider. I think there's better than a 50% chance the Knicks retain both Hartenstein and OG Anunoby. And I'm going to knock on wood here, as should you. I think there's a better than 50% chance. I just see it happening. I think that they get these guys back. I think Hartenstein is bought into the Knicks culture. He's bought into the winning ways. I don't know if he wants to be a part of a team for another 2 years. For knowing almost 100% he's getting the boot. Unless Isaiah Hartenstein becomes a defensive player of the year candidate, unless he really rises above the occasion, wins a championship or 2 with the Oklahoma City Thunder, which they probably could. Do you realistically think he's going to get an even bigger payday in 2 years? I don't think so. I really don't. So hindsight's 20/20, but you got to get Hartenstein back. You got to get OG back. And you made the right decision with both those guys. You made the right decision giving Hartenstein 2 years, $18 million. He has risen way above the expectations that anyone really had of him. He became the Knicks starting center in OG Anunoby. You trade for him. You give up some guys that were really meaningful to the organization, the fans, to the city. You got to resign him. We all know this. I'm preaching. I know I'm preaching to the choir here. All right, that'll do it for today's live stream. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. If you want to watch it back again, if you missed the first part, talked about Rodgers and what I really feel is a huge hypocritical nature to how Jets fans are approaching this situation. Go back, watch it, see what I'm talking about. But until tomorrow, either tomorrow or Friday, a YouTube exclusive video coming out, guest next week, looking like probably something along the lines of previewing the draft, which I think is in 2 weeks. The now 2-day NBA draft. So excited. We'll be talking about that next week with a to-be-determined guest. But until Friday, the YouTube video, I'm Bryce Gelman. Thank you all for coming out, and thank you to the 12 people for watching this live stream.